is my first YouTube video, and in this video I'm just gonna be doing my makeup and telling you guys a few tips and tricks for starting your own. Sorry, there's a mirror right here, so I'll be looking over there sometimes. I'm just gonna be giving you guys a few tips and tricks on starting your own lash business. I'm fairly new, but I did have months and months of research because I've been wanting to do this for a few years. I'm just gonna get started while I talk to you guys. I will be looking to my left while I'm making this video, just so that I'm doing my makeup correctly, because I don't have a mirror right here, if that makes sense. So the first thing you want to do, and this is low budget because I didn't have a job, I was 17, taking college courses as well as high school courses, so I was like really focused on school. So basically I was just using my allowance to fund my lash business. So basically, I'm not really good at multitasking, as you can tell, but there's just a few things you want to know, and that's things that I had a lot of trial and error with that I'm just gonna let you guys know up front. And the first thing is to not trust everybody. You really can't trust everyone, and this is something I learned recently because I was scammed recently. I will put the information down below on how I was scammed. I might do another video, but I'm not going to get into that because it's a lot, and I wasn't the only one, sadly, who was scammed. But you know what, I'm a firm believer that karma is real and they will get what they deserve for what they did, because they were taking advantage of a lot of small businesses, which isn't okay. And the thing is, these small businesses really mess it up for other small businesses on Instagram, because one person scams people and then other businesses get the backlash for it because trust is kind of gone, which is something I'm trying to also establish, is some sort of trust with my customers, because I am a small business and I don't want people to think I'm scamming them. So trust is really big. If you are gonna purchase from someone on Instagram, like wholesale, because there are a lot of people on Instagram who sell wholesale lashes, wholesale lip gloss, just wholesale a lot of stuff. And you got to be really careful on who you're purchasing from, because you could really mess up and purchase from somebody who's gonna scam you. One thing that I would say we'll be careful for is people who only accept money through Cash App, because Cash App is really easy to scam people through. It's incredibly easy to scam people with Cash App because nothing's really watched on Cash App, while as like Zelle, everything else is through a bank. So if you get caught scamming people, they can say that the purchase wasn't legitimate, if that makes sense. So that's like my first tip, is be careful, because you can get scammed on Instagram fairly easily, and I don't want anyone to get scammed on Instagram. I'm like looking right here because all my makeup is in here. My second major tip probably would be, I'm just gonna contour. I don't have a contour palette. Well, I do. It's really dirty, but I use that for my eyebrows. I use Anastasia Beverly Hills contour palette for my eyebrows. Then I use this Morphe palette that's all beat up. I don't remember what it's called, but my best friend got it for me for my birthday. But I use the shade Throwback and Woke Up Like This, which is this one and this one, as my contour shade, because it just works. So another tip that I would give you would be, if you're a small business and you're young, do not register your business. This is because, well, one, legally you can't anyways. Two, you don't really need to if you're a really small business and you're only making like a couple orders. But when you really need to register your business is when you're making more orders and you need to set up like a big cartel, stuff like that. You can get your parents to do it for you if you're underage, which is honestly something I didn't do. I just focused on using Instagram. Sorry if like you see my wig mess up. I'm not that good at wearing wigs. I do my best. I just do my best and then we'll see how it comes out. But like as I was saying, like if you're young and it's just a small business, you really don't need to register it, because legally you should register it, obviously. Like obviously you should register it, but you don't really need to if you're young. Okay, that, and because it's a little pricey to register your business, here in Arizona, anyways, I guess I can just say that here in Arizona it's like $85 to register your business, which isn't that expensive, I guess. Plus certain fees if you don't do it by yourself. I recommend you do it by yourself because some companies make you pay more to get it done. And on top of that, like if you register your business, then you have to do all this other stuff like set up a business bank account. You have to do that if you get an LLC. That was the middle finger. Then the next thing, I'm about done contour. As you can tell, like I over contour. I contour so much that you can really tell that I contoured a little harshly. This third tip, honestly, would be to focus on finding vendors. Practice and just search up vendors. Make sure you look at the pictures, because some vendors, they'll use pictures and you'll be like, oh, okay, you know, it's trial and error, honestly. It's really trial and error, because you can find some really messed up vendors who, one, are really rude, two, who their pictures don't match up with what they send you. So really look at the reviews and everything. And if you're gonna do a vendor, there's US based vendors, there's vendors outside of the US, and then there's vendors who are like the middleman who get the stuff from outside of the US and stuff, which is sometimes US vendors are overpriced. Like the prices are insane, because I've looked at both vendors outside of the US as well as vendors inside of the US, and the pricing is a little too much, honestly, if I will. But I guess it makes sense because, I'm sorry, I'm being loud. I guess it makes sense because when they get them over here or something, then you have to, a lot of vendors don't offer like boxing if you don't do a big enough order. So then people also buy like boxes, because I was looking at doing wholesale for people, and how it was looking was I was gonna have to buy boxes as well, which is gonna up the price a little bit, if that makes sense. But if you're gonna go for Alibaba, I don't know if I'm saying it right, it's an Asian wholesaling website where you can get a bunch of stuff wholesale, and the pricing is really good. The only problem is it takes forever to get here depending on the wholesaler you choose, which sucks, but I mean, it's whatever. I'm just using this as a mirror because the makeup is all broken. Well, it's not really all broken, but I'm just using this as my mirror. So basically, the US vendors are typically more expensive. Asian vendors are cheaper, but they take longer to get here depending on the vendor that you choose. I usually do US vendors, but I recently stopped because I saw that the pricing was better if you do overseas. So I found a couple. I've been testing vendors, and that's really important, is testing different vendors and seeing what product that you really trust before you decide to spend a lot of money on that one vendor, because I made the mistake in the past of spending a lot of money on one vendor, and then when the stuff gets here, I'm like, oh, this isn't good. I just spent all this money on this vendor. And then you're stuck with a bunch of lashes that you think are horrible quality, and then you gotta sell them cheap, and you make money, but it's like, you gotta keep doing that until you find what you like. So just buy the minimum quantities that they offer. Some wholesalers have minimum minimum quantities of like 100. Some have minimums of 10. Also, if another huge tip that I would give you is, if you're starting off, do not worry about like pretty packaging. Well, get good packaging, but don't worry about like, like the packaging with this is one of the lashes that I offer. I don't know if you can see. One of the lashes that I offer that I really like. And you just don't worry about like, get cute packaging like this, but don't worry about getting your name on it, your brand name, custom packaging, because you're new and you want to stay in a budget until you're making money and you can put that money into those things. Here's one other lash that I offer on my Instagram that I'm selling at like a decent low price. Those are another pair of lashes. I have other pairs. This is another one. They're not in like the pretty packaging, because like I said, I test them out before I decide if I'm going to use them. This is more of a like natural pair. So I have like 3D mink, 24mm mink lashes, and then I have not like foam mink lashes, so they're not real mink. I want to do the switch away from mink just because animal fur, you know what I'm saying, and just don't want to mess with that. So now I'm just gonna dip into eyeshadow, but that's also a very important tip, is to not worry about crazy packaging, because you don't really need it and you're just starting out. The next tip that I wanted to give you guys is your Instagram, your social media, and how it's set up is very important. I don't have a lot of followers on Instagram. Like I said, I'm fairly new, but your Instagram presence is very important in how you interact with your followers, if that makes sense, because you want to, like I said, you want to gain their trust. You don't want to put any doubt in their mind that you might be a scammer, because there are people on Instagram that scam, and some people sadly have run-ins like me who got scammed, and that really sucks. Ooh, I messed up. So you really want a nice Instagram, one, because of that, and for two, it looks better if you have a tidy Instagram and nothing's raggedy and like just ghetto and ugly. You don't want that. You want something really pretty and professional, and something that's not all like, nothing's gonna be like, ooh, child, like, that's not cute. You need to get it together. You want something that's really pretty and just well put together, so that people are like, wow, this is aesthetically pleasing, this looks really nice, rather than them being like, what is she doing, because that's really ugly. You want a positive outcome, and you also want to really interact with your customers if you're new, because you want to build that relationship. Ooh, my bad, my contact is like bugging. You want a really good relationship with you want a good relationship with your customers so that they keep coming back. You don't want a bad relationship and then they don't come back, because then you're losing customers, you're losing money. You don't want to lose money. You want to gain customers. You don't want to lose them. So Instagram presence and how you treat your customers is very important. You want to interact with them so that they know that you're serious, and they know that you're like you actually care, because that's important. You don't want to be rude, because I had an interaction with a business. I'm not going to say it's a small business. I'm not going to say who, and I'm not trying to be messy. I try not to get like a lot of powder on my nose because that's like my problem area with my skin. But I did have an interaction with a small business on Instagram who was fairly rude. Their shipping took forever. Like, it took forever. I would ask questions and it just seemed like they didn't want to answer them based off of like their replies. If you guys are screaming, that's my idiot of a little sister who don't know how to act right. But you really just need to have a good performance on your Instagram and treat your customers right, because they're not gonna come back if you're rude. And because I never went back to her when she was with him, her, I don't know, they, them, whoever, but they were rude and I did not like it. And that's really how you get customers, is you have to be nice to them. You can't be being mean to everybody and then expect them to put money into you. Another thing is, don't worry about paid promotions. If you're super small, I wouldn't do paid promotions. What I would do is I would do certain promoter searches, and not like repetitive promoters, so like you wouldn't set them up as a promoter. They would be like a one-time promoting opportunity, which would be like send somebody some lashes. Like if you sell lashes, or let's say you sell, well, we're gonna say lashes because this is what this video is about. You sell lashes, right? Okay, you sell lashes. What you can do is you can send somebody a couple pairs of lashes. Either have them pay for the shipping costs. You can be like, okay, free lashes as long as you promote, and all I ask is that you pay the shipping costs. Or you can do what I do, and I just paid for everything, and then I shipped out lashes to somebody. And you want to make sure it's not somebody with like, it's good to be inclusive and let people with like low followers participate in these things, because I remember I was somebody with low followers who wanted to promote and do stuff like that, do makeup, promote for people. And I'm happy somebody gave me a shot, because I do promote for somebody, and she's awesome. She's so sweet. Honestly, the sweetest person I've ever like met online, like, and she's just really nice, and her business is amazing. You guys should go check her out. Her name is Arella Cosmetics. If you go on my personal Instagram, I usually have promotions up. I'll also try to tag her in the comments because she does make YouTube videos. Sorry, I'm looking at a notification. But you really want to just be professional. And honestly, I think people who are good people, their stuff grows better, because that positive energy, you know, really just comes back and bounces back. And she's a really good person, and she's flourishing. Like, she's doing great, and that's awesome. My next set of advice would be to not worry about one, going all out, and two, take your time. Do not expect to be making all of this money. Do not have your business as your main source of income. Which is kind of hypocritical, because that's what I do, but I don't touch that money because I live at home with my parents and I'm in college, so I don't really need the money. Like, I don't really care for money right now because I'm a full-time student and my parents have my back. This is kind of just something that I expect to grow with time. And that's like really important, is you can't expect this to be your main source of income months after starting, maybe even years after starting. It takes time to build a name for yourself, and it's not something that's gonna happen overnight. You really have to just be patient and don't give up, because like I said, it takes time, and anybody can make a name for themselves. You know what I'm saying? Anybody can start a business. It's not that hard in this day and age. And I genuinely feel like anybody can do it. Anybody can. see, so basically I have like my eyeshadow. I'm not done. So like the next step, honestly, I want to do like another video on advice with like, I might give you guys a couple vendors, just a few is what I think I'm gonna do in my next videos, because people be trying to make you pay for vendors, and honestly, that's cool and everything. I might do that in the future for like my crazy long list, because I do have like an insanely long list of vendor names, because like I said, I've been researching this for years. But so I've purchased vendors lists in the past just out of pure curiosity, and the vendors that they put, it's like they barely did the research, and they just like, you know, look at this short vendor list, put your money into it, here you go. And it's like, it's stuff that I could have found in a Google search, which is ridiculous. Okay, so the next thing we'll do is I want to take this Arella Cosmetics pigment, and I'm gonna put it on my eyelid. I always do like the same eye look, but honestly, it's whatever. It's cute, doesn't matter. But this is really pigmented. I really, honestly, really love her products. I don't know why I get quiet when I need to concentrate, as you saw me just do right now. But let me know if you guys want me to make more videos on like some stuff that you need. Like a list of things that you should get before you start your business, stuff like that. Because honestly, there are a few things that you really should get when you decide to start a business, a lash business. There's a few items that are like really important and you should have on you, because it makes things a little bit harder if you don't have them. So I probably will make a video after this one. So by the time I upload this, both of these videos probably will be up. Because like I said, it's important to have these things. Okay, so now that I got this portion up, I'm just going, ooh, I made a mess. I'll clean it later. I'm gonna take this brush and I'm just gonna blend everything through, because you want everything to be blended. The eyeliner that I use is an e.l.f. charcoal liner, which I'm struggling to find right now. Okay, here it is. It's the e.l.f. charcoal liner. Ooh. It's the e.l.f. charcoal liner. It's one of my favorites. And I just do like a really thin eyeliner. Well, not really thin. It's but you'll see. I can talk while doing my eyeliner. I'm not scared. You know what? I said I was going to make another video regarding the scamming situation, but let's just talk about it here, because I'm not done with my makeup. It's going to be a while. So I had recently got scammed a couple months ago by Instagram. Instagram business. This Instagram business not only scammed me, but it scammed other people as well. So this person scammed me and multiple other people. And the sad thing is, they were scamming people and they were literally scamming small businesses. So what they were doing is they were offering wholesale, and the wholesale was like, okay, I like that. I don't know why I just did it on camera. Anyways, the wholesale, it wasn't that expensive. It was like $30, but it's the principle of like, why would you scam small businesses like that? Especially because a lot of small businesses are just starting, and they had it so that they said that they were trying to support new businesses. So I was like, oh, okay, this is really cool, and the product looked really nice, so I was like really excited to get it. So I ordered, and I should have known something was wrong because my older sister was like, Nena, like, I don't think you should buy it. And I was like, why? And she was like, because it's coming up as somebody who has scammed me in the past. So I was like, okay. And I really wanted it, so I was like, you know what, I'm gonna buy it anyways. So I bought it because she didn't say it came out like exactly as somebody who scammed her. She said that it was coming up as like somebody she already sent money to on Cash App. And she was like, Nena, like, I don't think you should get it because it's saying that I already have this name in my phone, but I never purchased from this person. But my stupid self, I mean, not cuss, my stupid self was like, you know what, I'm still gonna buy it. So I bought it, and the reason why I was using my sister's Cash App was because at the time I didn't have a Cash App. I didn't have a card, so I didn't have a Cash App. So I would always use my sister's card to buy stuff online. And like, she tried to tell me, she was like, I don't think you should buy it, but I bought it anyways, which really sucked because once the money was sent to her, it like wouldn't send off her website. So I was like, that's weird. So she's like, just Cash App and send me like a screenshot. So I was like, okay. So I finally sent a screenshot, and then that's when things started getting weird because I messaged her. I didn't pay for faster shipping. I paid for 2 weeks shipping, which was not paid. It was free. My bad. It was free 2 weeks shipping, and because I didn't feel like paying for shipping, and I was gonna wait a hot minute to even start this line because I wanted to get like promotional stuff set up. Like, I wanted everything set up, if that makes sense. I didn't want to pay extra money to get it here when I really had the extra time. So she was like, okay, she was like, okay, I'll ship it out soon. So I was like, alright, bet. Fast forward, this heifer, like this little girl, she literally didn't send me it. It was 2 weeks. I had waited. Okay, wait. Before that, it was like 3-4 days, and I messaged her. I was like, are you gonna send me my tracking number? I was like, can you please send me my tracking number? She's like, yeah, of course. And at first, she didn't respond. It was like a day later after I like double texted her because I was like, what the heck? This is starting to get weird. So she finally responded. I'm gonna be using one of my lashes today. These are $7 on my Instagram. So things were getting weird, and I was like, that's odd. So then, like, the second day, once I double texted her, she finally texted me back. My parents and my little sister are being so loud right now. She finally texted me back, and she was like, oh yeah, here's your tracking number. So then she sent me the tracking number, and I was like, this is weird. This is really weird. I clicked the tracking number, and it said that I was going to Chicago. Girl, I don't live in Chicago. I don't live in Chicago. I'm nowhere near Chicago. So I was like, this is a little sus. Like, why is it saying Chicago? So I messaged her. I was like, why? I was like, hi, sorry to bother you, but my shipping number says Chicago. I do not live in Chicago. And she was all like, oh, your shipping number says Chicago because it's going through, and then I was like, oh, also it's going through FedEx. And she's like, oh, your shipping number is going through FedEx, and then USPS is gonna pick it up once it's closer to your state. And my oblivious self believed it, and I was like, okay, you know, maybe she's telling the truth. I gave her the benefit of the doubt because I never want to call nobody a liar. So I was like, okay, whatever you say. So I waited like a week. It still said it was in Chicago. And then like once 2 weeks were up, I messaged her and I was all like, ma'am, like, I didn't get my package. And she was like, oh, well, what was your tracking number? And she was all like, I was like, ma'am, like, my package isn't here. She's like, what was your tracking number? I gave it to her, and she was like, oh my god, I didn't send your package out, blah, blah, this and that, making all these excuses. Mind you, she made these excuses because I said, I know you're scamming people. I have people with the platform, and I will be sending your information to them, your business information, so that they can let their followers know not to purchase from you because you scam people. This is when she started trying to kiss my, and she was all like, okay, I'll send you a new one, I'll send you a new package. Like, it's so hard with these orders. There's so many people ordering from me. Like, I'm so sorry. Basically saying like she's sorry because so many people are ordering from her, and it's hard to stay up with all these orders. And I was like, okay, because I sort of believed her because it is hard. These are the lashes.